if I am an athlete that has a baseline concussion test, am I going to recover faster than somebody who has not had a concussion baseline test? The answer to that is no. And that's not really the purpose of baseline concussion testing. And actually, there was a study that was done. I can't remember exactly where it was done. I think it's maybe the University of Calgary or something. But basically, they confirmed that having a baseline test did not improve your prognosis following injury, meaning that your recovery time, you weren't going to fare any better in terms of you returning to sport any sooner or anything like that. But that's not the purpose of having a baseline test. I just mentioned in the previous question, right, having concussions in short periods of time can be harmful in the long term and create additive and cumulative effects. So the big thing with concussion is you want to make sure you're out of that period of vulnerability before you put yourself back into a contact sport situation. Well, symptoms, as I said, are recovered generally in athletes in the first 7 to 10 to 14 days. In the first couple of weeks after injury, most athletes are going to feel better. Well, if you don't have a good preseason baseline test, basically what you're relying on to make your return to play decision is ultimately the person's symptoms. So the person tells you after a week or two that say, yeah, I feel good, I'm ready to go. And you go, well, okay, I'll sign off on that, ready to go. Now, if the person has a baseline test and it's a really good, robust baseline test, I mean, not just a computerized test, you need balance, reaction time, memory, concentration, you need that computer element, but you also need all the other things to go with it, like reaction time, ocular motor processing, and all these different things, a good battery of tests. Well, now when that person comes back to me and says at 7 to 10 days, hey, I feel good, I'm ready to go. First of all, we put them on the treadmill and we ramp them up and try to see how they do there. Then we start them off on the return to play process. Then we bring them back in. And if they're still feeling good and having no issues, we run them through the Chicago Blackhawks test, which is another physical exertion test, which is even more intense. Then after that, then we take them and put them through all of those tests again. Because concussion is a functional injury. It changes how the brain functions. I don't care because it doesn't matter in terms of their symptoms. I don't care what their symptoms are at that time. I want to know when their symptoms are gone. Is their functional deficit gone as well? Right? So is their reaction time back to where it was before their injury? Is their balance back to where it was before their injury? Is their neurocognitive function back to where it is before injury? Is their ocular motor speed back to where it is before injury? Because when I clear that person and I'm putting them back into a harmful scenario, like getting hit again on the football field or the hockey, the ice pad, I want to make sure that they're not in that vulnerable state. And if I'm simply relying on symptoms, I'm just guessing. I'm literally taking a guess to say, well, they might be vulnerable, they might not be, but here you go. But if I have some objectivity to it, I think it just allows you to make a bit of a better decision. So is it going to speed up anyone's recovery? No, that's not what it's designed to do. Is it going to make their rehab or outcomes any better? No, but it does give you a good point to know that, hey, the only thing remaining here is their balance. Maybe we can do some balance rehab and help improve that function. So it may direct your rehab a little bit, which could be helpful, but really what it's designed to do is make better return to sport decisions, safer return to sport decisions.